A warm welcome to the second webinar of Extramural Lecture Webinar Series 2020. We present to you these series of lecture with an intent to provide exposure and open new realms of knowledge for our student community. Barack Obama once said, "Change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones we have been waiting for. We are the change that we see." And today we have with us a miracle man who exactly did the same, Mr. Armstrong Pame. In the remote areas of Manipur, the two villages of Tusum and Tamainglong were inaccessible because there were no roads. With no roads, connectivity to the two villages was a huge issue, and locals had to either walk for hours or swim across the river. Once Armstrong decided to get the road built, he wrote to the governor of Manipur but was refused funds. This, however, did not deter him, and he started a campaign on social media and received 40 lakhs for the construction of road. He also contributed 5 lakhs from his own pocket. The road connects Manipur with the state of Assam and Nagaland. He is the perfect example of we are the change that we seek. And we at EML are honored to have him as our speaker for our student community. Along the lectures, we will be asking some questions to him on the behalf of our student community. So without any further ado, I would now like Mr. Armstrong Pame to address the session.
Hi, good evening, folks. The students at IIT Madras. In fact, I've been to a few of the IITs to address live audience, and IIT Madras, is one that I long forward to visit in the near future. But so far, I've not been able to. Thank you, Kunal, for the good introduction. There are, yes, few corrections to be done. The work that you just mentioned was carried out in 2012. Tamenglong district is headquarter is where I am right now, and Tausem subdivision is a name of a subdivision where I was posted as the SDM in one of my first posting. So the road connection, everything was done not by me. I was just there at the right time to ignite the fire in the heart of in the valley of the in the heart of the people. They were the one who actually did. In fact, we collected much more money than what you just mentioned, but that's how we were able to take up this project. Yeah, so that is like a long story. I will not be today discussing about this story which is gone by, but today I'm here to discuss and share with all of you how we are overcoming this pandemic of COVID-19 together. And I'm sure many of you who would be joining, maybe some in the private sector, maybe some in the corporate MNCs, some on your own ventures. I'm sure many of you would be keen to know how, as a bureaucrat and how, as a district magistrate, we are dealing with this situation. So we are going to do this. I'm just going to share a little experience. Kunal, can you please play a video? You can play up to the half. If you can play me the video for the audience to see. I want to show you how the road conditions are in my district right now, especially because of the road expansion going on.
Yes, sir, sure.
Yeah, so this is at 3 a.m. in the morning. These medical staffs of mine were carrying the flight passengers, the returnee to my district. Their bus got stuck up. They had to wear PPE because, they're also scared of infection, because these are flight returnees. They are yet to be tested. Their bus got stuck up. and that is how much we go through almost every day. So yeah, you may stop the video and go back to the presentation.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I term this as overcoming the pandemic together. Some of the things that I want to let you know is our district is the farthest from the state capital of Imphal, one of the worst road condition. And another factor which is, I think, to our disadvantage is our villages. The populations are sparsely populated. We have a total area of about 3,500 square kilometer for a population of 150,000. So many of the small villages are really separated from each other. So can Kunal, can you go back 2 pages? One slide back. Yes. No. Next. Yes. So let me first admit this fact. I'm not saying that the strategy that we're following is the best. No, I definitely don't say that. But I'm just here to share you the experiences which we have been going through. We get lots of complaints from the inmates. We have together received about 2,000 people from outside the state now, from different cities. We received several complaints, but yes, compliments outweighs several criticisms that we get, but we still go on strong. So next. Now, I want to share you what goes on in the life of a regular deputy commissioner, district magistrate. Yeah, back please. One, yeah. So, yes, we have to ensure that the positive people, when they come home, when they stay here in our district, they are not a virus carrier or they do not spread this virus. Number one target. Number two, now I have to make sure that all the essential commodities like rice to vegetable to edible oil, to fuel, petrol, whatever you can mention it under the category of essential commodities. I have to make sure that they are available, and not only available, but ensure that the price is controlled, that there is no change from the normal rates. Now, third thing, I have to ensure that all the government schemes, which you might have read recently, Pradhan Mantri Gram Kalyan Yojana, to provide
Yes,
5 kilos of rice grain to every citizens,
yes,
irrespective of wherever they are, and also to provide for the migrant laborers wherever they are. We have to be responsible for them. And another thing is also for people from my district, whoever are spread across in different states of the country, different cities, including Madras. I have to make sure that their rations are taken care of, their rent issues are settled, that they are not kicked out from their house because they stopped working and that they could not pay the rent. And then also, I have to be a part of the coordinating team along with the state official, for them to get back home safely. So, and then on top of all of this, I also have to see that some of the developmental economic activities goes on, like Narega, like major infrastructural projects, like the water supply projects, the highway construction, and many other projects that goes on currently. I have to make sure that all of them goes through, despite the lockdown. So you can go to the next. So this is how we ensure lockdown, a total shutdown, uh, to make sure that our people exercise extreme restraint and ensure that whatever law enforcement agency impose upon them, they do not violate it. So this is how deserted the street looks. We have to make sure that I coordinate with the police and other departments to make sure that this is ensured. This is the picture of my the street. Now, next. Now, in this battle, fighting alone in the name of the government is not gonna make it through. So we now for 2,000 people in various quarantine centers, in about 18 quarantine centers with an average of 100, people, people from all categories, especially the youths who has lost their job and come back, and some students who had come back because their academics have shut down. To fit them, it is not an easy task. The government is giving us 200 bucks per person for a day, but it's almost impossible if we totally rely on the government. So what we did, the public gets involved. So many of the villagers, they bring vegetables, for this cooking centers, and that is how we do it. We involve the church youth to come cook. Not all of these people who return back home has their home in the district headquarters. So we have to make sure that we get sufficient bedding materials for them. So, and that is how one of the church in the picture below, one of the church is donating some of the blankets and mattresses.
Yes.
Now, next, and that is how I ensure that public participates in our effort. Now, everything was fine. There was no, there was no positive case till the train starts arriving. People from other hotspot like Mumbai, Delhi, and in fact even Madras. Till we were a green zone, there was no positive case. But however, since they are our own people, we have to welcome them back.
Yes.
So this is me in my morning jogging. I drop by to see some of them, and we have to show them. See, these people are already frustrated. They have spent
Yes.
a difficult time in the cities, losing their job, struggling to pay their rent, struggling to find food for themselves, and now in a train journey, 5 days journey without the best possible condition,
Yes.
they are already tired. Now, at least when they reach home, we have to show our hospitality side. And that is exactly how we do. Now, next, see, after I let them settle in can you go to the next PPT, next page?
Yes, sir.
No, no, go back previous.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is me addressing. If you see me in white shirt, this is me addressing some of the returnees, and in the picture below also, I was addressing some of the returnees in different quarantine centers. So this is how I go and personally welcome them back. I give them the standard operating procedures on how to stay in the quarantine center, the do's and don'ts, how they have to behave, this and that. I
Yes, sir.
go and meet them personally to make sure that they are not left alone in this battle.
Yes,
So,
sir.
see, no one is so happy staying in the quarantine centers for 20 days or 14 days, or some even
Yes.
28 days, because some of their results were pending. So, it is only through our encouragement that these people will have the zeal to carry on. Next. Now, next.
Yes, sir. After ensuring government
Yeah.
schemes.
So, yeah, so I have to make sure that all the government schemes, whichever has been promised by the Honorable Prime Minister and the Honorable Chief Minister of Manipur and my Chief Secretary, I have to make sure that all of them gets delivered to the public, to the last man that deserves it. If you see the right side of the photos, these are the rice bag meant to be delivered to the villagers because the bridge was taken away because the bridge was taken away in 2017. We're yet to make a new bridge since it's taking time. The vehicle cannot cross in this temporary bridge. So we have to engage the villagers to carry across this rice on their back. And that is exactly what you see in the photos. And on the left side, we are distributing 5 kilograms of rice to every person in the village. So this is in one of the remotest village of the district, in a village called Taningzam village. So I send my officials, the elected representatives are there distributing rice. So this is how we do it. In fact, if I have got more time, more photos could have been shared, but I'm just sharing one of them. So yeah, you this is how we make sure that all the government schemes that is being promised are delivered to all the people who deserves those schemes, and this is how we do. Next. Now, so now I cannot sit idles, just because in the name of lockdown all developmental activities cannot shut down either. Wherever works are required to be done, I have to make sure that the work goes on. Now, on the leftmost picture, you see this is a road to the hospital, you know, taken 4 months before, taken in the month of January or February. I don't exactly remember. So you see how pathetic the road conditions were. So
Yes.
during the lockdown, we constructed this road, the middle picture under the government funding called the Hill Area Development Program. On the right side, on the rightmost side, you see a photograph. I'm letting the senior-most nurse of the hospital inaugurating the road on behalf of the chief minister, letting her cut the ribbon on behalf of the chief minister. We use technology to inaugurate this road. The chief minister, I could not fix him in this picture, but chief minister was inaugurating this project online. So this is how we did this. I have to make sure that developmental activities also goes on. Now you go to the next. Now, I'm not talking only about the government developmental work. I have to also assist that the private sectors, since they are also investing money, I have to make sure that the private sectors also is given a space, are also given a space to carry on their work. Now this is the Airtel company setting up their towers in one of the most remote part of my district. So if you see the date, it is dated May 9, 2020, 2:50 p.m.
Yes.
I have to make sure that these private people also gets to carry on their work, and this is how during the lockdown we were able to complete about 10 more these telephone towers. So I think it's and that too in some of the most difficult part of the district. So now to end this, I would like to open it up for question hours. So now, can you go to the next page? Why did I put this? Because I thought this will remind all of us of our responsibilities and duties, irrespective of whichever circumstances that we are in. We should not forget the true identity, the true human being that we are.
Yes.
I always, whenever I interact with students, whenever I interact with the youths, I used to tell them, you may become the next Jeff Bros, you may become the next Bill Gates, you may become the next prime minister, president, I don't know. But in the end, irrespective of whatever you become, you have to be a good human being. This is how the world will become a better place. Let me tell you the story of this boy, and why I want to share with all of you is this. Tomorrow, you guys are the best of what the country can produce. You guys are studying in the top technical institution rated amongst the top in the world. I know many of you will go on to conquer the New York Wall Street, London, wherever. You guys will be in a big place. Now, some of you may decide to join civil service. Irrespective of whatever we become, let us not forget our basic identity. In our effort to make this world a better place, let me share you this story. In 2017, This boy, along with his elder brother, came to me to my office. I still remember the elder brother was carrying a local made woven cloth bag, a torn one. In fact, it was yellowish in color. I still remember this. So he started introducing him. So I was pretty surprised when they first wrote a slip before they enter my office. They say that, sir, we're here. I mean, they wrote the purpose of visit admission for class 9. So the moment they stood in front of me, I told them, I scolded them. Why are you coming for admission at this time? It is already April. The admission here in our place gets over by February. The school session starts by February second week. What are you doing here now? It's too late. Now the elder brother started saying this, sir, we both are orphans. We are three children. We're three brothers. I'm the eldest. This is my youngest brother. The middle one is also still studying. So he has finished his. My younger brother has finished his school from a government school, but in that school there's no more class 9. So we have been hunting around to get admission in some of the school, but we can't. So, sir, we come for your help. So then the younger brother started again. Before I could start speaking again, the younger brother said, sir, I really, really want to continue studying. So I really want to do well like you. So please give me a chance. I don't have my parents to support me, but please give me a chance. We have tried asking in every other school, but not possible. We don't have money to study in a private school. So please help me. So I was touched. Then I look back at my school days where I used to face so much of hardship, difficulties, where my parents who were just, my father was only a school teacher. With not a high salary. My mom was only a homemaker, 7 children. So lots of time we used to face difficulties in trying to pay our school fees. I look back at myself, I was trying to fit myself in his position. So I listened to him patiently and I was out of words. I had to do something for him. So I said, okay, I'm going to give you an admission in one of the residential school where I'm the chairman in the government residential school. I know the session has started by 1.5 months. You are late, but still go. I'll give you all the money that you require to buy uniforms, to buy your books, to buy buckets, mattresses, whatever thing you need. I just gave him 10,000 bucks. They were overjoyed. They went to study in that school. They got admitted in class 9. And you know what? I don't remember exactly the date when I posted this. Oh yeah, on 16th June of this year, the results of class 10 were declared. So I got a call from the teacher of that school. Sir, the boy that you sent in 2017 to study in our school, he scored 70% with a letter marks, 84 in class in mathematics and letter marks in other subjects, overall aggregate of 70% in his class 10 exam, in the state board exam. So I was trying hard to remember who is this person, because yes, I come across so many instances. In fact, this afternoon alone, I got a call from one of the sisters whose younger sister got 76% in class 10 and they can't afford to send her for class 11 again. So I was trying to remember who this boy was, and then yes, when they sent me his photo, I remember clearly. And you know what? I was trying to talk to him. I was trying to congratulate him for 3 days. But he was away in the field, in paddy field, way back to his native village, trying to earn some extra bucks for his class 11 admission. That condition he is. That's why I think, the little help that I was able to render this boy, his life was totally changed. After 3 days, on the 19th of June, I was able to talk to him. I congratulated him. I told him, do not worry for your class 11. I'm going to be supporting you. I'm going to give you admission in the school that you desire to study. So he was so calm, and, he was so relaxed after reassuring my assistance. And of course, there are so many people who are willing to help him. So, what I want to tell you is, see, this, irrespective of whatever we become, irrespective of whatever situation that we go through, we should never forget our roots. We should never forget that we are human being in the first place, irrespective of whatever we become. So this is my message to all of you. I hope I'm able to make sense to all of you. And then, yes, I have put up this story on my Facebook page, and it attracted about 250,000 engagement, about 10,000 likes. So I thought that's a good humanity story to share together with the public. So yeah, so this is the presentation that I have decided and prepared for all of you to share with all of you. If you have any questions, yes, I'm willing to take.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. We have collected some questions that we wanted to ask you.
Yes.
So, one of the major questions that people, students want to know was, what were the major turning point in your life? Like where you stopped being an average and you became a change maker. Like we already have a lot of IAS officers, yet you are the one like we look forward to. So, what was your turning point?
See, um, okay. What I will tell you is this. Yes, there are so many IS officers in the country. We are bound by so many rules and regulations. See, frankly speaking, if I look back at this boy's story, you know, I can give him an admission in my in the government school, but what about 10,000 bucks? I don't have a ready-made government scheme to support him. So it's difficult. So should I apply for the government schemes for him to come? Then his academics will be over. So sometimes we have to go out of the way to get things done. Now, second thing, second example, I'll tell you. Just that road condition I'm facing every night. Now, this machine called the TrueNet machine, where COVID samples can be tested, it costs us about 13, 14 lakhs, and a testing kit about 1,200 bucks. Now, the government is giving us, yes, no doubt, but the government is giving us a 2-channel machine. Now, what do we do? Should we wait? Because I have more than 3,000 more people to come. Should I only depend on the government? No, this will not happen. So I sat down together with the public, some of the public leaders, some of the minister from my district. So we decided, okay, let us help the government. Let us help assist the government in trying to procure more machines. We can't only depend on the state government. State government is giving us one. So why not we raise fund to buy a bigger, better machine? We raised money, 23 lakhs in 24 hours yesterday. And we had given an order for that machine. And it is coming within the next 15 days. Yes, I got lots of scoldings, absolutely, from some people. But I thought, for some good works, we have to take some risks.
Yes, sir.
So there are times when we say we have to follow the rules, this and that. But I would say we are not, see, if I am just to follow the rule book, to wait only for the orders, how am I different from a clerk? How am I different from my peon and chowkidar? You know, there has to be times when we take initiatives. Say the road story which you just described. Lots of people say you are doing this against the government, blah blah blah. I say no. I'm a government servant. I'm only assisting the government. Government has so many works to do. So I'm just doing a little bit of what my government will be doing. The road that we're gonna cut is just a kacha road. The government tomorrow will be coming and cutting a well polished metal road, double, three times bigger than what we did. So this is never a challenge to the government. So whatever things that is placed in your hand, it is important to look at, whatever possible that you can add upon. So I'll just give you an example. Suppose if you can see my phone, you
Yes,
can
sir.
look
I
at
can.
my phone and just look at the back. You know,
Yes.
it is up to us whether to imagine what is in the front sight. Some people just say, okay, I'm just seeing the back portion, that's all. Now I want to imagine what is on the sides and what is on the opposite side where I can't see. What is stopping us from imagining and trying to come up with a solution? Exactly, that's what I feel I'm able to do, and then by God's grace we've been able to do. So it's important to be innovative. So I believe, I'm able to touch your question.
Yes, yes. Sir, there was another question that many students wanted to know. That you are from that very native place from where you are a change maker, and you know that place very well. You know Northeast India a lot better than what we know about that. So, what are the possible best uh, avenues that we can explore for development in the northeastern states, in the Seven Sisters?
Yeah, so in the seven sister states, which presents the maximum potential for growth, maximum potential for growth as of today is, we have, I would say, abundant human resources. In fact, if you speak to, every second person that you come across in my state or in the northeastern state, they will know English. So this human resources, we are yet to explore this in full.
Yes.
Now, second thing is the infrastructure, the road connectivity, the power sector, the water sector. So many are yet to be developed, and I'm very glad that the government is giving extreme importance to enhance this sector. And once this sector is enhanced, there won't be any limit to any growth. And then the third sector, which I see, is the trade relationship with the Southeast Asian countries, starting with Myanmar, the Thailand, the Singapore. You can't fly a truck loaded from Gujarat cannot fly across Manipur. It has to definitely pass through Manipur if they want to go to Southeast Asian countries. So once this infrastructure, basic infrastructure like road and power is done, Northeast area presents an extremely potential area for growth. And yes, lastly, technology, the use of technology. See, the schools are shut down now. 95% of the children has no access to internet, has no access to smartphones. you know you talk about online classes, only 5 to 10% of the students are having access to this. So yes, we are coming up with lots of connectivities. Joe is coming up in a big way. Airtel, under the universal service obligation, they are setting up so many towers. So these are some of the extremely challenging areas we all can work together on. I look for a day where an IITian like you sitting in Madras, IIT Madras, can address and take a basic Newton theories class. Newton's gravitational law to some of my children studying here in private school or the government school sitting here in my town and in remote areas. You guys will be able to teach them much better So I look for a day where connectivity will be much more established. Like for the last 2 days, we've been trying to have a good established link for this session to have, but we have not been successful. Only today, by God's grace, we're successful. So like that. So we're looking forward to lots of technological intervention from all of you, and also from the rest of the countries.
Okay, sir. There is this one more doubt that we have right now. This COVID, although being not so like it's not welcome, but also it is giving us some opportunities to make some great changes. Like we are right now doing something that was expected that will happen after 5 years. Like we are having class, we are having sessions online now. So, do you see any big administration opportunity or any change in administration that will happen now after this COVID ends?
Um, well, I cannot comment for other big challenges to be taken up by the government in other areas, but at least in my district, because we are still struggling in that formative stages, like when the Britishers introduced the train in 1885, some 200 years ago. My district is struggling to, my state is struggling to have the first railway line now. So, I cannot say that, immense change will come, where classes are to be conducted online, this and that. No, I cannot say that these big changes will come. Even if I tell the villagers not to visit my office, they will not stop coming, because they won't have access to me until unless they come to me physically. So, for yes, bigger administrative setup, there might be a lot of changes, but at least in my district, which is still quite a remote district, I do not see so many changes as of now.
Okay, sir. Anyway, sir, there's one more. Like we already always have these kind of discussions that education is not very much lined up with what we are actually experiencing in our daily lives. So there's always a constant battle between different ideologies, like that education won't help you in real life, while some say that it is very important. Like most believe that it is very important, but some believe it is important to some extent and all that. So what's your take on it? How much do you believe that your academic knowledge helped you in your real life, and what all challenges you were able to overcome because of the academic and institutional knowledge you had?
Say, lots of criticisms are there against our Indian education system. Yes, I agree that we are overloading the children. We are too dependent and no much independent thinking. But we cannot be comparing ourselves with the US society. I've traveled to US few times, I've traveled to Europe few times. The level of development, no, the level of opportunities that they can present to the children, their choices are immense. We are 200 years behind them. So in this situation, what best possibility can we give? If I leave the children of my district, you do what you want, we won't take classes. Where will they be? They would end up in jungles. What would they be doing? Are we going back to Parliament stages? No. Let me give an example. I'm a physics graduate from St. Stephen's College with a distinction
Yes,
marks.
yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I had written civil service with a different subject, public administration and geography. Now, lots of people ask me, why did you anyway take up physics then? I tell them this: I never left physics. I love physics. I took up physics. And not even a single day had I felt that doing physics in college was a waste, because it is this physics, the way that let me think. In physics, when you read Feynman lectures, it
Yes, sir.
makes you think 1,000 times.
Yes.
Suppose today, as an administrator, when I'm encountered with a problem, I believe I'm able to think and comprehend much better than, I can't say I'm doing better than others, but at least for me, I'm able to decipher the problems much better. Say, just yesterday, how did I raise fund? 23 lakhs in 24 hours. In fact, within 30 minutes, I got 10 lakhs. I designed this, you know, I designed this in my laptop, sitting in my Excel with my, Excel, trying to work which are the type of people I should be targeting, how should I start, this and that. Whom are the people I should get in touch with to get this done? Had I not studied physics, I don't think I would have those ideas. I wouldn't have the capacity to do extrapolate and do this and that. So I would never say that studying physics was a waste. So whatever people may say anything about our education system, at this present situation, of course, if you are living and studying in Mukesh Ambani's school, that's another thing, but at least I can speak for my district. If you're living in a district like mine, I cannot think of any other education system. Yes, we try to bring changes every now and then. Now, let me tell you how I try to bring changes. Yeah, so I don't say that whatever we're doing is the best already, but at least in this present situation, whatever best we're trying to do, I would say that it is absolutely not a redundant thing. Let me just give an example. So I did my IS coaching from one of the top institute in the country called the ALS. So that is based in Delhi. So now when I went to Delhi, they used to invite me to come and talk to the IS aspirants. So after talking to them, I used to discuss with them how best to make sure that this classroom is telecasted live to the people in my district.
Yes.
Because out of 100 kids, 80 of them cannot come to Delhi. They have to spend at least 4 or 5 lakhs in a year to do coaching, apart from the coaching fees of 2 lakhs plus, rent, food, everything. So they came up with this solution. So they use the satellite technologies. They will give a classroom in Delhi. The direct live classroom will be telecasted here in my district. So that is how we were able to carry out. People, as long as there is an internet connection, people can ask questions by typing the questions. So they are enjoying the same classroom facilities that is being given in Delhi. So we thought only for civil service, this is not sufficient. For those people who wants to get into IIT like all of you, for those who wants to become a doctor, why not we tie up, so this institute ALS tied up with Avanti.
Yes.
Avanti,
Yeah.
one of the this institute
Yes.
to, yeah. So they tie up together. So they introduce a course for IIT and medicals. So many of the children sitting here studying class 11 and 12, they could join the class.
Yes, sir. I
How good is that?
volunteered for that. Yes, sir.
Yes. So the thing is, it is not that we are content with the way that we are already. We continuously look out for challenges. We continuously look out to adopt to the best possible way.
Yes.
But to say that whatever system that we're following now is redundant, I wouldn't like to agree on that. So I hope you got the point.
Yes, sir. Sir, and there is this one, like, I personally believe that if all of the issues that we are currently facing as and as Indians, I believe that education is the one that should be looked most. Like, we cannot reduce poverty by just giving out alms, or we cannot just reduce poverty by giving them a minimal wage. So I believe that if we continuously strive forward for more educated Indians, we will be more developed. At the same time, it's also said that we are not very skilled. We have the most young population in the world, but we are not very skilled. So are you taking up any social causes, or is there something in your mind? Because you are doing a lot, but if you could are you doing something for a group rather than as an individual? Like, we all look forward to it, but that would be even more, far more reaching. So are you doing something, or is there something on your mind?
So let me tell you this. I know the power of education that has tremendous impact. See, my family was nothing. We came from a village. My father was only 8 pass. My mom never went to any school. But seven of us, now all of us graduated, uh, all of us well settled in job. This is how the power, see, if I look at, how many generations has my family jumped because of education. It is tremendous. I want to make sure that people, irrespective of caste, sex, race, whatever, name it, they should get this fruit of education. Now, to do my little bit, what we did was, see, I'm doing from my government side because as some obligation, some as of due duty, but I feel that as an individual, as Armstrong Pame, and not as an IS officer, I need to do something more. So what my family decided was, see, there are so many people who wants to go to a good school. They don't have money for that. There are so many more orphans who does not even have clothes to wear. So what we decided 3 years ago was we will start a school in our village. So we decided to start a small school in our village. The first year we had 3 students, the second year we had 220, this year we had 363. And we are charging a minimum basic fee of 1,000 rupees, including their fooding, lodging, tuition fees, everything. Because as you said, if we only give free, our people does not value much.
Yes, sir.
So out of 363 children, about 88 of them does not pay even that 1,000 bucks. They are a pure orphans, or some of them are orphans, some of them are semi-orphans. So we let them study for free. And many good well-wishers working in different parts of the country, or even some students, they want to donate, to take care of one children. It is about 3,000 rupees. Their school fees, their uniforms, their books, their mess fee, everything comes to about 3,000 rupees a month or 2,500. So many people are sponsoring these children. In fact, one of my friend who is an engineer, in fact, from Haryana, he has been sponsoring the kids, two children, two sisters, two orphans, not exactly orphans, but the father passed away, so the mother remarried. So this friend of mine has been sponsoring 6,000 rupees per month. He's already working for the last 2 years. So like that. So I believe in the next 10 years, I would have impacted at least 2,000 children like this way we are doing. So I'm doing this as Armstrong Pame and not as an IS officer, please. And we're not doing this for any sort of profit. We are absolutely doing it. My family spends about 1.5 lakhs every month to run this school. So since all of us are earning, we decided to give back to the society. So these are some of the small initiatives that we continuously keep doing, and we look forward to contribute even more to many more people in the days to come.
Yes, sir. My last question to you would be, many of my friends, I myself was looking up to this particular webinar because as on one hand, as a personality like you, getting to know a personality like you, on the other hand, to know as an IAS officer what all changes can we make. But for that we have to clear this UPSC, which is a really tough exam. So this is we are asking as a guidance, because even in IIT Madras there are a lot of students then they go for this UPSC. So what should we do? How should be our mentality when we are unable to clear it in the first or the first two attempts? So what should be our way,
See,
Guru?
the strategy that I followed will not be applicable to you, to other people. And moreover, the studies, the books that I did are all must be outdated by now, because I wrote the exam 12 years ago, 10 to 11 years ago. But however, one thing to be sure is this. I wrote this exam 3 times. My first attempt, I did not get through the mains. Second attempt, I got into the revenue service. Third attempt, only I got into the IS. So the first thing you have to be very clear in your mind is, why do you want to be in the IS? As long as this is very clear to you will not be frustrated, even if you do not get through in your first, second attempt. For me, why I want to be in the IAS was very clear. I grew up in a very difficult environment, very challenging areas. So my calling for me was, if I can be a part of the system that can bring changes, this is it. I want to be a part of the solution. If
Yes,
I
sir.
were to come at IAS to gain authority, to have more power, to have more money, to have a better house, I would have been really, really damn frustrated. So
Yes,
the reason why you want to be in the IS should be definitely very, very clear.
yes,
So
sir.
I think all should figure that out. Why you want to be in the IS. As long as you have that, I think you will not be frustrated giving this exam.
Yes, sir.
I don't think that this is the toughest exam as such. The questions are very easy sometimes, just that the number of people completing it has increased so much tremendously. I remember in my time about 6 lakh people wrote the exam. So I heard last year about 10 lakh people wrote the exam.
Yes.
So I think that's the challenges. The questions are not the toughest.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Uh, so, sir, now I would like to conclude. Thank you, sir, for taking out your time to address our student community. I am sure that
Yeah.
students would have gained a lot of insight in functioning of government bodies and would have received a lot of inspiration to turn around the
Yeah.
flaws that and the shortcomings that are around them. I would
Yeah.
also
So
like to,
I before you conclude, I
yes,
just
sir.
want to suggest. I just want you guys to help me with two things.
Yes, sir.
Can you help me find the cheapest tablets? Because I want to give this to the children studying, especially in the government school. Phone, lagiro. Yeah. So I want to give this tablet to children studying in a government schools, because whether we like it or not, if this COVID situation continues, people will not be able to come to the regular classes. So I want to give this tablet, to the children, especially studying in government school and those studying in high school. Number one, you just suggest me the link where to procure it the cheapest possible, the best possible. Number one. Number two, find me some of the best possible drones where I can get drones. Because see,
Yeah,
uh, because of the road condition, I cannot travel to
yes,
monitor many of the works. I have
yes,
18 quarantine centers. I can't even go around to monitor them. But at least I want to see how they are doing.
yes,
When I'm enforcing a lockdown, I want to see how my street is doing.
yes,
You suggest, I found some of the few drones, but
yeah.
some of them are not available in the country. So if you can give me a suggestion over WhatsApp, I'll be glad.
Yes, sir. So I would like to recommend our viewers that if they know anything or they can help anything, please comment down in the comment section. Also, we ourselves as an EML team would try to find out the best possible solutions. Thank you, sir, for taking out your time.
Yeah.
I would also like to
Yeah.
thank viewers who would join in, and I hope they enjoyed this session. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye bye. Yes.